Eugene Pj, world-renowned Swiss psychologist and scientist. Pj was born in 1896 to his father Arthur and his mother Rebecca. He also had a sister. Pj was the eldest of the two. Pj would spend his whole life in Switzerland, as he would later die in the city of Geneva in 1980. Pj was a bright and independent student from his early childhood. Many believe this was because of his father. Pj also picked up a habit for studying and became interested in sciences at a young age. At the age of 11, Pj had one of his works published about a part albino bird. Although Pj had his work published, he had to hide his age at first due to credibility. Publishers thought because of his young age, problems could arise for him and their businesses. Pj's college and midlife. Pj attended the University of Neuchâtel. He studied zoology and philosophy. Even though most know him for a world-renowned psychologist, he was interested in many different sciences and was well versed in all of them. While attending the University of Neuchâtel, Pj received a doctorate in 1918. After he received his doctorate is when he became interested in the world of psychology. After he became interested, he went to a different university called Zurich. And while he was there, he found a mentor and studied under the guidance of Carl Jung. But this was only the beginning for Pj. As many know, in life, he would later on become a world-renowned psychologist and have plenty of works published, and he would develop a theory. His theory was the theory of cognitive development. This would become his most known work of all time. Pj stated that children's mental development goes through 4 stages at 4 different ages in each stage. The first stage is the sensory motor stage. This occurs from birth to 2 years of age. Pj believed at this stage, children learn through their curiosity of the world, as many young babies do. He believed that they could realize object permanence. The next stage, after the sensory motor stage, is the pre-authorizational stage. This stage occurs from the age of 2 to 7, as the kids are able to use language and are able to represent objects. They're not fully developed, as their thinking is still developing. These young children can be viewed as egocentric, but as time goes on, they will continue to develop and progress on to the next stage. The third stage is called the concrete authorizational stage. This occurs between the ages of 7 to 11, just like the gas station that everybody has heard of. At this stage, you can see a major jump as the children start to think logically about the world and their surroundings. They're able to identify objects based on their features, and they are able to order them in series. And the fourth and final stage in Pj's theory is the formal authorizational stage. Ages 11 and beyond go through this stage, as their thinking is developed tremendously compared to when they were newborn, as they are able to look at life and their surroundings in a completely different way than the previous 3 stages. They are able to think about their own future, hypotheses, and random abstract things. At any of these previous stages, this task would have proved quite difficult for them, as they are not developed as they are in the last and final stage. And Pj's theory, is it still in use today? His theory is actually still being used to this day, and will continue to be used for a long time to come. One example of his work is debates. You can turn on your television, and you'll most likely see some sort of news, as they're debating all the time, such as politics, the presidential debate. That is one way to learn in his theory. You also do this in everyday life, with your spouse or with a friend. Sometimes it's hard to notice that you're doing it. Another example would be the question and answer. Every classroom does this, and most people do this on an everyday basis, as they ask questions and wonder what the answers are to. This will also be used for a long time to come. And this is Pj's theory of cognitive development.